ghosts are waiting, so won't you join me in the house on Haunted Hill? Hurry, or you'll be late for your own funeral.
Yours truly, Brandon Thompson, is back to continue my 4th annual Halloween special with House on Haunted Hill, directed by William Castle and stars Vincent Price as a millionaire who holds a party for his wife, played by Carolyn Ohmart, at a creepy old house that is supposedly haunted by ghosts. 5 guests are invited to the party. If they manage to survive the night, each of them will be rewarded $10,000. Let me tell you a little about my history with this film. I remember going to my grandfather's apartment one spring break. Of course, we would watch like a few movies. One of them was House on Haunted Hill. And it was one of the first few horror films that actually managed to creep me out. Because when you have things revealed like severed heads in suitcases, stains of blood like dripping from the ceiling, and skeletons coming out of a pool of acid, and seeing women who were hung, it really creeped me out as a kid. And I had to look at my grandfather with this face being like, for God's sake, what were you thinking? Because it took me a bit of a while to actually warm up to the film, but over the time, I really come to appreciate this movie. I think it's really good. It's a classic, and Vincent Price, I think, is pretty good in the movie. He was a legendary actor back then. May he rest in peace. And it has a lot of good scares, even for a movie that was made in the late 50s, which really surprised me. Now, when it comes to the guests of the party, you have Richard Long as a test pilot, you have Carolyn Craig as a girl who works for one of the millionaire's companies, you have Alan Marshall as a psychiatrist who is an expert on hysteria, you have Elisha Cook Jr., I hope I said his name right, as the owner of the house, and really the only character in the film who believes that the house is haunted, and Julie Mitchum as a reporter who wants to write a feature article on ghosts. None of them know each other, so they're all strangers, and they're only there just for the money. So I'm going to get into some spoilers. If you have not, by any chance, checked out House on Haunted Hill, I do recommend it. It's pretty good. It's a classic. And I recommend watching the film first and coming back to watch this review. So how things play out in the film, we see that the millionaire's wife supposedly hung herself, while in reality she faked her death, and she's working alongside the psychiatrist played by Alan Marshall, and it's revealed that they are lovers, and they're trying to drive Carolyn Craig's character insane and try to get her to shoot the millionaire played by Vincent Price, who she suspects is actually trying to kill all of the guests. And she shoots Vincent Price, and the psychiatrist tries to dispose of his body by dipping him in the pool of acid. Then it cuts to black, and then Carol Allmart's character, the millionaire's wife, goes down to the cellar, and then we see the skeleton come out of the pool of acid, and eventually the skeleton pushes Carol Ohmart into the pool of acid, and she dies. And it's revealed that Vincent Price is alive and loaded Carolyn Craig's character's gun with blanks, because he suspected all along that his wife and the psychiatrist were trying to kill him. And I really liked that he was one step ahead of the would-be murderers. And the film ends with him planning to turn himself into the authorities, wanting justice to decide whether if he was innocent or guilty. And the film ends with Elisha Cook's character still believing that the house is haunted, now says that the house supposedly now has 9 ghosts, and he hears like moans and everything saying, "They're coming for me now." And he looks at the camera saying, "And then they'll come for you." And then the film, the final shot of the film shows the door of the house just closing, and then the film ends. And this film is still creepy after all of these years, and that's really surprising. So yeah, I really think this is a pretty good film. Although I wish it was a little bit longer, and I wish that some characters were a little bit more fleshed out. So if you want me to get nitpicky about that, that's really my only real complaints with the film. But otherwise, I really like House on Haunted Hill. So I'm gonna give it an A minus. So what are your thoughts on this film? Let me know in the comments below. And guys, thank you so much as always for watching. I'm looking forward to doing more videos really soon. And if you want my thoughts on old or new films, of course, you know where to find me.